It's a genuine pleasure and a genuine honor to present the leader of the John Birch Society, Mr. Arthur Thompson.
Thank you, Larry. Members of the council, wives, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to ask if you would do this, please. Anyone in the audience who is a chapter leader or a section leader for the John Birch Society, please stand up. These are the people that make the John Birch Society function and be successful. They sacrifice a great deal of their time as volunteer leaders, and many more, well, actually all the time, out of their ranks come the field staff of the John Birch Society. I'd like to add, if I may, and I hope Tom doesn't get offended by me doing this, but I'd like to add one little thought to his talk. The greatest champion of private-public cooperation in the 20th century was Adolf Hitler. And you know, in a backhanded way, there is some justice, because those people that helped bring him to power had to get out of town, or many of them were killed themselves. They didn't realize what they had produced until it became a monster they couldn't control. And as the war dragged on, he became more and more powerful, and they became weaker, and many of them had very serious problems. The bankers, for instance, the Thompson brothers, had to get out of town and went to Switzerland and came back after the war. Now it's known as Thompson-Krupp. They're actually even more powerful now than they were when they helped get Hitler into power, because they were the lucky ones that left town. But you know, playing around with power is not a very good game, because if you lose that power or bring someone to power, the person that gains that power looks around and says, well, wait a minute, what is the entity that's most likely to take me out of my power, out of my seat? And that is the first thing they eliminate, isn't it? Because they've got to eliminate the power that brought them there, or they may find themselves dead. So they kill that power first. That's the way it works. So these people that are involved in this game are playing a very dangerous game for themselves. At any rate, let me get into what I wanted to address this evening by opening up by quoting the founder of the John Birch Society, Robert Welch. He said this, quote, "It is the almost unique function of the John Birch Society to create and provide the channels through which the truth can be carried, and then carried again and again in varying forms to a really sizable number of patriotic American citizens," unquote. With these words, he defined the mission of our organization. He said that we need to carry the truth to a sizable number, and he and other messages identified these American citizens to be primarily opinion molders. The prophet Isaiah stated why people needed to know the truth in these words, quote, "Therefore my people have gone into captivity because they have no knowledge." Isaiah 5:13. Ladies and gentlemen, there can be no doubt that the Americans are being led into slavery because they have no knowledge. Knowledge or truth is necessary to forestall slavery. It includes the knowledge of the plans and the planners of impending slavery. After all, if there are slaves, that means, therefore, there are masters. More often than not, the would-be masters are usually the ones who are out front offering solutions for problems that they have created. So the knowledge of what is right is even more important, so that the people are not fooled into adopting measures which lead to bondage. There is no doubt that measure upon measure is being proposed today that will do precisely that. We need to carry the truth to sizable and influential people. Then organize them to resist, and as quickly as possible, for only by this process will we be able to save our families and our freedom. And we are doing just that. Our campaign to distribute 1 million copies of our New American magazine about the North American Union is a good example. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to think big, and we have to perform big. We are already halfway toward our goal in hard copies, and we are making an increasing impact on the World Wide Web with downloads and links to our site adding up every day. The second half of this goal of 1 million will be harder to attain, but we will do it. Robert Welch said that we live in fantastic times, and it's going to take fantastic thinking in order to win. In fact, it's realistic today to be fantastic. We will continue to achieve our fantastic goals and outreach to new people. We fully intend to do so because not to think and work in fantastic ways means to lose. And this is never, ever going to be part of our thinking. Our Million Magazine initiative is by no means the only example. As Larry said earlier, we have a goal for selling 100,000 videos this year or within a year's time, and then increase this level. We're on course so far to meet this goal. This does not include our JBS channel on YouTube, where we are posting our videos. And really, what does set the John Birch Society apart from other organizations? Well, I ask you, when it comes to our North American Union magazine, who else is thinking this big? Who else is performing this big? And who else is following up this big? Who else has the capability? Not just in organization or numbers, but the knowledge and the will to do so. Now, forgive my bragging, but taking nothing away from those outside of our society like Tom DeWeese, but I am so proud of the effort that our members and staff have shown in meaning business every step of the way. Everything we've done over the past 2 years has been aimed at reaching ever greater numbers of people. To be audacious, we have made some mistakes, admittedly, but we have done so because we have to try new ideas. We in no way mean to stand still. Robert Welch said at the founding meeting of our society these words, quote, "The net result is that we are not a copy of any movement of the past. We are unique. We are ourselves. We are something new. We believe in profiting by all human experience with the mercury of our own purpose," unquote. We mean to continue to be unique, new, a moving force. Hang on, the ride may be bumpy, but I guarantee you it's going to be very fast. Why have we chosen to put so much into stopping the North American Union at this time? There are a lot of other issues we could be involved in. Simply put, the North American Union is the weak link in the plans of those who are trying to immerse us into a new world order under the United Nations. The insiders are using free trade as their cover. Due to a lack of knowledge on the part of good Americans, they so far have gotten away with it. What we need the American people to understand is that free trade was part of the strategy of Karl Marx, the founder of communism. Marx said that free trade breaks down national barriers. In other words, it promotes the building of regional governments, leading to a one world government. Yet American businessmen think that free trade will help America. What most businessmen want is really fair trade, not what is being offered today. What some mega businessmen are doing hurts this country, as Tom has just offered. It is not God, family, and business. Or business, family, and God. Or business and no family and no God. It is, what they have to remember is that it's God, family, and country. What we see happening results from ignorance. In other words, a lack of knowledge. So what sets the John Birch Society apart from other organizations, and why is it our responsibility to see and carry the truth abroad? First, as we have said, we know that now is the time to be audacious, to think big, and build on the experience of the past 50 years of our organization, as well as what we can learn from others. Second, we need to name names. Just who are these people that want the United States to become a mere cog in the scheme for world government? The John Birch Society, as you all know, has never shied away from identifying the enemies of our country, both foreign and domestic. We have received a great deal of flack over the years for doing so, and we aim to continue. And responsibly, we dare call the enemy a conspiracy. Third, we were formulated to be organized right down to the neighborhood level, with chapters meeting on a regular basis in the living rooms of our country, planning, implementing, following up on our agenda, and then reporting on their activities. And fourth, overlaying this structure, we have a field staff that helps members build new chapters, trains the volunteer leadership, and coordinates our activities based on our agenda. These are just a few of the things that make us unique, but the bottom line is, and always has been, and always shall be, organization, organization, and organization, putting shoe leather to the issue. And we're doing what we can to carry this uniqueness into the World Wide Web, to bring even greater effectiveness to what we do with our online initiatives. Now, our new meetup groups are only the embryo of an expanded operation we are calling our e-community. Since we are unique, what we are putting together online is also unique and somewhat difficult. We are in the middle of experimenting right now so that we can bring to you a new system that will work to involve people beyond the web. The potential is huge. And the John Birch Society, as we've already mentioned, is cooperating with more and more people, giving leadership where we can. This is a new development for us, and it has already paid some dividends. We will cooperate with anyone as long as it does not in any way compromise our principles or our reputation. So we're standing together with others. But we are very much the leader in the battle for family and freedom. Our organization is different. It sets us apart. The John Birch Society was designed originally, right at the onset, and remains so, an organization to be out front, to lead, to influence the Americanist movement and pull it together as a cohesive unit. This we have done since our beginning. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, as many of you know in this room, it can be very lonely at the point of the spear. So I come to a somewhat delicate point. The Southern Poverty Law Center attacks the John Birch Society as the leading organization in the fight to oppose the North American Union. Pravda, the communist paper in Moscow, very recently recognized that the John Birch Society is the leader in the fight to get us out of the United Nations. You know, these people seem to know their enemy. But some of our friends can't seem to utter the words, the John Birch Society. even when they know the extent of our efforts, and even when they know it is our own members organizing meetings at which they appear. I could build a very lengthy speech on this subject alone. For this reason also, it feels very lonely on the battlefield. But our outreach and our coalition building has begun to change this situation. We are on the battlefield, and we will continue to be there no matter how hard the fight may be today or how hard it will be in the future. So in this very brief outline, we've tried to show you where we are going. There are many ways we are different than most other organizations. For now, I ask all of you members of our society to commit yourselves to a level of work and dedication which you have not committed to in the past. The insider's timetable is getting short. Their goal is the year 2010 to begin entangling us in a North American Union. For those of you who are ready to help save America and may not yet be members of our merry band, I invite you, in the words of Robert Welch, to come join us in our proud companionship and in our epic undertaking. And to you all, I wish you good evening and Godspeed.